for. You'll use the props to have yourself in a comfortable position. We'll hold poses for about 2 minutes. I'll time it because I never remember how long 2 minutes is on my own, and I get bored sometimes, so I need the timer to remind me of those 2 minutes. We're going to start in what's called supported fish pose. So traditional fish pose is knee bent, down on your forearms, hands facing back with your head dropped. But no one could stay like this for 2 minutes. It would be very uncomfortable. So this is where all the props come in. If you have yoga blocks, you can use yoga blocks at varying heights. You place it between, like mid-back, between your shoulder blades so that you roll over it. And then you use the other block to prop your head. So you can feel your shoulders start to fall away from the sides, the whole idea of releasing those cell phone arms or keyboard shoulders, just letting them fall. If you don't have yoga blocks available, you can use any other item that can go along your back. Dodge has decided he's going to stare at me. I don't know if you can see him. So if you take a blanket and roll it as tight as possible, you can place that blanket along the spine and lay over the blanket using maybe a pillow behind your head. It doesn't need to be a lot. You can adjust it for your comfort level. Hello, Tati, thank you for kisses. If you're using a book and that's a little too hard, then just stick the blanket over top of that. Get it nice and flat. You want to find an appropriate edge. There are 3 rules of yin. 1, find an appropriate edge. So you do not want it to be extreme. If the low level of the yoga block feels good, leave it there. If the second level feels okay, you can probably get away with that. If the third level seems extreme, do not do that third level. That's too far of an edge. You then need to find stillness. You don't want to move during this time. You want to sit, lay as still as you can. And the last part is to stay for a while. So we find that appropriate edge. We find stillness. We stay for a while. Regular breaths, letting the chest rise and fall. Yin and Yang yoga are a little like rainstorms. If you think about it, in the middle of August when we desperately need rain, and all we need is rain because everything is dying from the water. But if a flash thunderstorm comes through and the rain falls too hard, it's not going to hydrate the earth. It's going to give it some nutrients, but not all. It makes it stronger and makes it more fertile. That's your Yang yoga. That's moving with your breath, moving with that connected breathing. Yin yoga is more like that light drizzle, that light rain that soaks it up, makes the grass green again, doesn't wash away the nutrients. As you lay here, you should start to feel your shoulders sink farther and farther. We're re-moisturizing, we're reinvigorating those muscles around our neck and our shoulders. Like the earth being filled in a light rain. Most of us are guilty for sitting at our cell phones or our computers all day where our shoulders hunch forward. This allows them to fall back. Or even, I discovered the other day that my father has this issue. If you know my father, he does not use the computer for more than playing solitaire, and he definitely does not text on his cell phone all day. It's a flip phone with no smart features. But he was a UPS man, so he picked things up constantly. And if he didn't roll his shoulders back, he started to hunch forward. We have about 15 seconds left in this posture. If this posture feels good to you, this is a great way to take your shavasana. Any other time you take a yoga class, this is a great way to take it. So that's our 2-minute warning. Go ahead and just slowly bring yourself out of it. Lifting your head up, lifting our bodies up, removing the props that we used. We'll come back to the props. We'll use them at different times. And then stay facing the front of your mat. Just remember that I'm going to turn so that I can face the camera. If it's easier for you, you can remain in an easy seated pose, or what I'd like for you to take is cow face legs. So for cow face legs, you're going to take your right leg and bend it in front, and then bend the left leg over top. If your butt is way up in the air, that's what the pillows are for. You can put them underneath your sides to help give you a nice even surface. You can even sit up on the block. For me, I like to sit up on the block. It raises me up a little bit, and then my legs are able to cross. We do what we can do. I do have a participant in the room with me today who is completely unable to get his legs like that, and that's okay. We do what we can do. I would suggest that you put a pillow underneath that knee, though, so that it doesn't flop around, because again, you need to stay for a long time. We're going to keep our legs like this for the next 4 minutes. So if this is not comfortable for you, make sure you move around until you are comfortable. We're then going to take our right arm and place it in front of our face. We're going to take our left arm and wrap it underneath into our eagle arm posture. If you can hook the hand, great. This is full posture. Maybe you just place the hand on the outside. Maybe you can't get the arm underneath and you keep your hands here in like a prayer position. Arms can be slightly down. They can be slightly higher. It's what's comfortable for your shoulder position. So we're starting with right arm bent, left arm wrapped around to our ability for 2 minutes. Remembering to breathe normally, evenly. I need to turn my lock setting off on my phone because it keeps making me put the passcode in. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Yin yoga allows us to get into those deep fascia of the muscles, those outside thin layer, that when we don't use it or when we get stuck in a particular position, get locked. Yin allows us to loosen that fascia. We have 5 seconds left. Excellent. Let's go ahead and release the arms. Take a quick moment and undo those legs. Loosen them out in front. And then we're going to bring our legs back in the same position that they were in. So that right leg is under, left leg is over. We will switch them in a minute. But now our left arm is in front. Our right arm is wrapped underneath. You might find that you can get farther this way in your eagle arm. Again, if it doesn't make it, you can always leave the right hand on the side. You could bring it together this way, being mindful that your shoulders could be lower or higher. It's the appropriate edge for you. 2 minutes. As you take those nice chest breaths, try not to rise the shoulders. We're not trying to sigh it out. We're just filling our heart space and breathing it out evenly. If you find the arms start to drop a little bit as you're holding here, that's okay. It's the natural fascia opening up. You should be able to feel this along the back of your scapula. If your arms are farther apart and you're finding that they're able to come closer together, that's great. We have 15 seconds here. Go ahead and release those arms. Release the legs. Shake them out for a quick minute. And then let's switch sides. We'll bend the left leg underneath. We'll bring that right leg over top. You might find that you don't sit as well this way. I can tell right away that my one leg does not come as far over as the other, but that's okay. That's what this is for. And get ourselves adjusted. Again, sitting on the block or pillows if you need to. This time we're going to raise our one arm. We're going to raise our right arm. And we're going to very gently place it on the top of our head and tilt our head to the side. Do not wrench your head to the side. You're going to be sitting here for 2 minutes. Just gently let the hand pull the head down. You should be able to feel that area on the side of your neck, from your neck down to your shoulder, opening a little farther. All the hand is doing is just giving a little bit of extra weight on the head. It should not be pulling. It should not be forcing. Keeping in mind those 3 practices of yin, finding that appropriate edge, finding stillness, trying not to move any other parts of our body in this 2 minutes, and staying here for a long time. For those that are thinking this is the longest 2 minutes ever, just know that most yin classes hold poses from 4 to 7 minutes. 2 seemed like a good compromise for me today. Excellent, there's my timer. Release the hand from the head, bring the head back to center. And then let's go ahead and take our left arm, bring our left arm up. Kelly, I see a notification on my screen. I don't know if that's somebody that needs to get in. And then we'll go ahead and pull to the left side ever so slightly. Great question, Aunt Jane. Can I tell you about breathing? There's lots of different pranas. Breath in yoga is called a prana. There's many different breaths that you can use. Right now, we're just using a gentle, easy breath, your normal breath. So ideally, we want to breathe into that heart space, filling up our chest, and exiting out through the chest. We don't want to lift the shoulders. Now, sometimes when we breathe, like if we're really panting after a long run, we're lifting and lowering those shoulders on a breath. We don't want to do that. Breath helps move energy through the body. Breath can help alleviate pain. It can alleviate tension. Being mindful of how we breathe. Some of you may be able to breathe into the space for stretching, so you can send your breath to that neck area from your ear all the way down your shoulder. There has been studies done that took a group of about 60-year-old men, and they gave half of them stretches to do, and they gave the other half of them yoga to do. And it turned out that the poses were exactly the same. The stretches that the first group of men did were the exact same poses that the men in the yoga group did. But when the men in the yoga group did the yoga, they included the breath with their postures. And they had a 30 to 40% more flexibility range than the ones that just did the stretching. Taking the breath into account is being mindful. It's allowing yourself to believe that your breath can be your healer, that your breath can be your energy, that it can be your life force. That's our 2 minutes. Go ahead and release our hands, undo the legs, remove any props that you might have, and let's just take a moment to lie on our backs and do a body check-in. So we're just going to lay nice and flat in our Shavasana position. You know it's not Savasana yet. And this is a great time to learn about the breath. So as we breathe into that chest space, feel how your head and neck are. Are they still tight? Do they feel better? And then breathe out. On that next breath in, maybe you think more about your right arm. And you feel within that right arm, your fingers, your elbow, triceps and biceps, how do they feel? On the next inhale, maybe you take a look at the left arm. Feeling how every part of the body is, and then slowly move down the front of your body and work back up the back. Checking in with each area. Is there something that feels blocked? When you get to your midsection, are you feeling that your kidneys or your liver are being a little overworked? Have you been doing more overconsumption than you normally would? How do the tops of your legs feel? Those quad muscles. Do your knees feel fresh? Can you wiggle your toes? If thinking of it this way doesn't work for you, another way to look at it is maybe there's a great big laser on the top of your head, and picture that laser scanning all the way down the front of your body, like at a checkout line. And when the laser gets to your toes, it comes down the bottom of your feet and it scans all the way up the back of your body. Does it target any areas that need work? Is it flagging any areas to you that need more stretch, more twist, more strength? Does anything feel blocked? Does something feel open? Let's take 2 more breaths here as our timer is up. And then we're going to slowly seat ourselves up. We're going to turn our legs to the back and come down on our stomachs so that your head is still at the front of your mat. You're going to put your 2 forearms on the floor for our Sphinx pose. Traditional Sphinx pose keeps our neck and shoulders and head aligned with our arms down. Since we're going to be sitting here for a long time, if 2 minutes are going to be too hard on your neck, then you can take a block, a book, a pillow, and you can place it under your forehead or under your chin to not give too much work if you think it's going to be too much. Again, shoulders are directly under elbows. Nope, your elbows are directly under the shoulders. Your feet are flat behind you. You're not trying to put any tension. You're not squeezing legs. You're not squeezing back. We're looking ahead, or maybe even slightly down, like the Sphinx that's in the Louvre. keeping shoulders away from ears. If you find that you're sinking, you feel that sinking feeling, just try to lift the head up a little bit more. If you think about those Egyptian pyramids that had the sphinxes on them, or the sphinxes in the Louvre, they're very proud. Their chests are raised. They're shining forward. They're warriors in their mix. They're protectors of their land. You are the same. You're the protector of your body. You're the protector of your space. You should be proud of what you're able to do. We have 20 more seconds here. That's our 2 minutes. So let's just go ahead and place the arms down one at a time on the mat. Place your head on your hands. Maybe you shake the lower hips for just a minute because they were working that lower back. And then we settle in and we can scan our body this way too. Picturing maybe that blue laser on the back of our head scanning down the back if we didn't get to do that the first time. It's a little harder from this position to fill up the chest space because your chest is flopping into the floor. So maybe this time you fill up your back space. Try sending the breath to the back of your body, expanding those shoulder blades, expanding that scapula. If you have lower back issues, this is a great time to send breath to that lower back. It not only takes time and practice to send our breath places, but it takes believing. It takes knowing that you can do it. I'm sure some of you are like, this lady has no idea what she's talking about. I can't send my breath anywhere but in my lungs. But believe it or not, you can. Yes, it's being contained in the lung, but you're sending the energy to that area of the body that needs it. If having your toes pointed means that you're starting to feel some cramping in your feet, feel free to bring them up to stretch out the bottom. I know everyone has slightly different circulation when it comes to their feet and their toes. If you're ever starting to feel a cramp, pull back out of that position. Do not let yourself cramp. We have 5 seconds here. Okay. And let's go ahead and push ourselves up into a little bit of a tabletop position. Our next pose is called melting heart, and it's not an easy pose. It's one that I'm going to give a lot of modifications to, but I want to first show you how to do the full version of melting heart, and then we'll modify from there. So we're keeping our hips above our knees. We're bringing our arms out in front of us. We're going to take our right arm and we're going to bend it at a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you can see that. Extending the left arm in front. And then I'm just going to drop my chest, but keep my butt up in the air. So it's like a down dog, but in a reclined position. My back is arched, my face is squished into the mat, and my forehead is resting on my right arm. My left arm is extended. If you have shoulder issues, this is probably incredibly sore for you. So pull back a little bit. Maybe you bend that left forearm and you're at a slightly bent angle. Or maybe you come all the way back with it and you're letting that left arm be at a 90-degree angle. Or if it's so sore, you actually come all the way down onto your back And you use a pillow behind that left arm and try to bring it overhead. And the more sore it is, the more location you bring the pillow to. So if you can only get your arm to here, you want your pillow close in to your rotator cuff. If you can get it a little bit farther, then you want your pillow out farther by your hand. It's different for every person. It's different for every position. If you have really open shoulders, you can take a block. When you're in your traditional melting heart pose, you can put your hand up on the block and let it sink in. So we'll find our comfortable position here. If you're in traditional melting heart, you want your hips above your knees. That left arm's extended, and you'll feel that area of your armpit just start to stretch out. This time you might be sending the breath into that left arm, into that left rotator cuff. Or maybe even into your lower hip area, your lower back and hip area. That's where I find that I'm sending mine, because my arms don't really hurt. It's my hips that always hurt. We can thank Grandma Izzy for that one. That's 30 seconds here. If you were in your melting heart position earlier, because I was giving modifications, feel free to pull yourself out if it's starting to strain. If not, hold tight for that next 18 seconds. That's our timer. If you're in your traditional melting heart position, you're going to walk your hands back so that you're sitting on the back of your feet. Head comes down to the mat, arms come down behind you. That's your embryo position. If you are on your back in your melting heart, just bring your knees lightly into your chest and give them a hug there. If you naturally end up rocking from side to side, that's okay, but hold still if possible. Traditional child's pose is most used for rest in both yin and yang yoga. When we get tired, when our heart rate gets too high, we come down into child. By taking our arms back this way in an embryo pose, this is a restorative position. Traditional child with our arms forward is actually still a heat generating position. Though it does calm us down, it doesn't help with the restorative part. Bringing our hands behind us is restorative. Your hands can just lay lightly on the mat. I personally like to grab my heels for no other reason than I just do. Again, this is a great time to breathe into that lower back space. Being mindful not to let the shoulders creep too close to the ears. You may find in this position that you can't take as deep of an inhale as you normally do, but you take a deeper exhale because we're kind of crunching our diaphragm, we're crunching our kidneys and our liver and our bladder and our bellies. So maybe we can't fill them up as much, but we're releasing the toxins that are inside. 10 seconds left. And there's our timer. Slowly release the arms back out in front. Bring ourselves back up into a tabletop. This time we're going to take our left arm and bend it at that 45-degree angle in front of us, extending our right arm for our melting heart pose. or whatever modifications you use within your melting heart pose. We want to try to make sure that we don't send our hips too far back. We want to keep that 90-degree angle between hips and knees. And we can just do the best we can to feel that. It's really hard to see since our eyes are in our forearms. We can't necessarily see our position. And that's sometimes the best part about yoga, is feeling it. If it feels good, then you must be doing it right. You may find that sometimes in practice, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose is natural. You might find times where breathing in through your mouth and out through your mouth is better. A lot of times it depends on allergy season or cold season, or just how you're feeling for the day. I know in the morning sometimes we have a few more issues happening than we normally do. So if you find yourself mouth breathing, that's okay. It's all about your natural breath, and using that energy from the breath to heal the body. You have 20 seconds here. Excellent. Let's slowly walk our arms back up. We've got 2 more positions in our yin, and then we're going to move to our regular yang style, more of our movement, a little less holding things. So let's one more time lay down on our backs. If you have room to extend the arms overhead, great. If you don't, you can leave them at the side, but you're going to kind of banana yourself. So I want you to bring your feet to the right corner of your mat, your arms to the right corner of your mat, so that you're in a crescent moon. Yin yoga and yang yoga, though they have a lot of the same poses, sometimes have different names. In yang yoga, this is called crescent moon. In yin, I love it. It's called banana asana, because you're a banana and it's your asana. It's just a fun name. Try not to push too far. Sitting like this for 2 minutes can be difficult. Find that appropriate edge that you can hold with. You should start to feel the left side body from the top of your fingers all the way down the curve. The feet start to sink farther into the mat. Try not to hold the tension. And with those nice deep breaths, fill them into that side body. I do this almost every morning. It's one of my favorite stretches. You can do this laying down. You can do it standing. You can do it in a kneeling position. It's a great way to stretch the whole side of the body at one time. We have just 10 seconds left here. Let's bring ourselves back to the center, legs straight, arms straight overhead, just for a quick reset. We'll take a few breaths here. We'll take 5 breaths here. Depending on our breath speed, we should all be coming to about that breath number 5. Let's go ahead and shift our feet now over to the left corner of our mat and our wrists over, upper arms over to that left corner of the mat. Again, if you're having shoulder issues, I should have said this before, but if you're having shoulder issues, putting a pillow underneath those arms overhead help alleviate some of that shoulder pain. We settle in for our banana asana on the right. Feeling that stretch along the side body. Another possible modification, now that I think of it, is you could bend your arms over your head. I need to bend my arms now because I just stuck a pillow there. But if that makes it more comfortable for you, that's great. Sending the breath along that right side body. Thinking about where you feel it most. Sometimes where we feel it most is where we need it the most. Remembering not to bend too far, not to push back that appropriate edge. We have 1 more minute here. Whether you choose to keep your eyes open or eyes closed is your choice. You may find that you're an eyes closed person because it helps you find your Zen, removes all the other distractions. You may find you're an eyes open person, staring at your ceiling. It's up to you. Whatever helps you sink into your body more. All right, that's our 2 minutes, and that's going to be the end of our yang portion. So let's go ahead and bring our arms down to the side, our feet out in front, and bend the knees up, feet flat on the floor. As we move into our yang portion, our yang portion, which is more of a hatha style base, we're going to move with our breath. So we'll cue by saying, take an inhale and move this way, and exhale, move that way. So right now I want you to inhale your arms up in front of you and exhale them out to the side like a T. Remembering that you are absolutely able to breathe in between. Sometimes inhale, exhale cues come at different times. Always breathing. We're going to inhale, engage our core, and on the exhale, we're going to drop our knees over to the left for a side body twist. If it's too intense, then you can lower your knees, drop them down a little farther. The higher you bring them, the higher above your hips you bring them, the more fire breathing it's going to be, the more energy building it's going to be. Take 1 more breath here, 1 more good inhale. Exhale, side out. Inhale, I want you to bring the right arm up behind you, up in front of your head, and then I want you to exhale it over to meet the left. So we're just sort of resting here. Then on the inhale, you're going to ever so slightly lift your neck. And we're going to exhale, bring the neck back down. Inhale, we lift the head up. Exhale, we bring the head down. Do not drop your head down. Inhale up. Exhale down. If you drop your head down, 1, it's going to hurt. And 2, it's going to take away that mindfulness. Inhale up. Exhale down. This simple move, inhale up. Exhale down, is a wonderful neck strengthener. How often do we strengthen our neck? We think about our inhale up, think about our bicep curls, our tricep curls, hamstring curls, etc. We never do neck curls. Exhale down. This time on your inhale up, we're going to actually look up towards the ceiling. So there's a slight twist in the neck. Exhale, straight back down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, down. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, we look down. Inhale the right arm up behind to the sky. Exhale, bring that right arm behind you back into your twist. Inhale, knees come up to center. Exhale, they drop over to the right. Holding here for a few breaths. Take one more good inhale in. And on the exhale, side out. Inhale that left arm up to the sky. Exhale that left arm over to the right side. Inhale, we lift up the neck and the head. Exhale, we drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, drop. This time on the inhale, we turn the head to look up. And exhale, we return it to center. Inhale, look up. Exhale, return to center. One more time, inhale, look up. Exhale, return to center. Inhale that left arm high. Exhale, left arm behind you for that twist. Inhale, knees come back up to center. Exhale, pull the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. Take a moment here and rock from side to side. Maybe a few circles clockwise or counterclockwise, loosening up that lower back, massaging it. The deeper you rock to a particular side, the more you should feel it. And then holding in the center here, let's pull the knees in one more time. Exhale, release them down to the mat. And let's bring ourselves into tabletop. Excuse me. Hands up here. When you're in tabletop, you're just like a table. You have 4 parts of your body, really 6 if you count your feet, but your feet should not be getting any pressure. You should be able to kick your feet up behind you, move your toes around. You want shoulders directly above wrists, hips directly above the knees. On the inhale, we're going to drop our belly, raise our heads for our cow. And on the exhale, we're going to drop the head around the belly out the back like a cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now let's return to our neutral tabletop. Our back is nice and flat. I want you to look over your left shoulder and then move your hands over to the left. So your knees are staying right where they are. We're twisting in a different direction. We're just looking over that shoulder. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, move the hands back. Return the head to neutral. Inhale, take a look over the right hand shoulder. Exhale, walk the hands to the right. Holding for a couple breaths here. Keeping those hips level, keeping the knees and feet where they were. Take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, walk the hands back to the front. And return the head back to center. Go ahead and tuck the toes behind you, lift the butt up in the air for our first down dog of the day. If you are new to down dog, you might find that you're here. Your knees are way bent, your arms are bent. That's okay. Your legs being bent is fine. You want arms about 45 degrees back from the wrist, above the shoulders. You want your head in between your shoulders. You want your back in that same line as your arms. If you are not able to straighten your leg in your down dog, that is okay. Move them closer, keep them bent, stay up on your heels. You can even, if you have it, you can put a block under your heels if that's going to help you. It's whatever feels good for you. Let's take a moment and walk out our dog, lifting the right or bending the right knee and the left knee. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. One more time. Shake your head yes. And then holding the position here. We see our dogs do this all the time. That's why it's called downward facing dog. It's a great stretch for the body. On the inhale, come way up on your toes. Exhale, move forward into your high plank. Inhale, shoot the hips back up. Exhale, drop the feet to the mat. Inhale, come up on your toes, send those hips up. Exhale, forward into your high plank. Inhale, send the hips back up. Exhale, heels back down to the mat. Inhale, come up on the toes. And this time on the exhale, just walk your feet forward so they meet your hands in your forward fold position. Maybe you keep your hands on the mat. Maybe you place them in your arms for a ragdoll. Just feeling that forward fold position. I want you to bend your knees a lot. Place your hands above your knees and come rolling up into a standing mountain position. Inhale the arms up overhead, being mindful not to lift those shoulders, keeping those shoulders down. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the side, press the chest forward, swan dive down. Forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot, place the hands on top of the knees, come rolling up to standing into that mountain pose. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, maybe baby back bend. Inhale back to center. Take the left hand and bind the right wrist. Inhale. Exhale, bend to the side, crescent moon, just like that banana asana we did on the floor. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch the bind. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, push the arms out to the side, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And this time, keep the legs straight, keep the back straight. Reverse that swan dive. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, the arms come up high. Exhale, swan dive down into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Place the hands on the mat, step the right foot back and the left foot back, high plank. Drop the knees, untuck the toes. Bring the chest down between the hands, 8-point posture. If you are new to yoga, this is where you want to go first. Your 8 points are your 2 knees, your chest, your 2 hands, your 2 feet, and your chin. That makes 8 points. Go ahead, slide yourself forward into a baby cobra. Bring that back space up. Exhale, push back through tabletop and into your downward facing dog. Inhale, come up on the toes. Exhale, walk the feet forward into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Keep the legs straight, keep the back straight, arms out. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands to the mat. Step the right foot back and the left foot back, high plank. If you are used to going ahead and doing chaturanga, feel free. If not, drop the knees, untuck the toes, drop the chest, release the chin, 8-point posture. Inhale, come up to cobra. Belly's flat on the mat. The only thing that's lifted is the chest. Exhale, back through tabletop into your downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale, walk the hands back to meet the feet. Release the toes if needed. Bend the knees. Place the hands on the knees. Come rolling on up to standing. I'm going to turn and face you so you have a better idea of what I'm doing. We're going to do something called tree. If you're new to yoga, you've maybe not done tree before. If you aren't new to yoga, you know exactly what tree is, but we're going to do this as a floating tree. So we're in our mountain pose. We're going to shift our weight into our left foot, and we're going to bend our right knee against our calf, but we're not actually going to touch it. We're going to bring our hands to heart center. This is a traditional tree pose, but we're going to inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, bring it down. We're going to float that leg on the outside. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Shift that leg out in front of you a little bit. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, bring it down. Bring it back towards center. Inhale up. Exhale down. Shift it towards the back. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Return the foot to standing. Step your feet about hip bone width apart. Release the hands. Give yourself a waterfall. If you need to use a wall while you're doing a tree, feel free to use a wall. You can keep your hands very lightly there and still have the same balance. All right, return the feet together. This time, let's shift our weight into our left foot, hands at heart center. We bring the right one to the calf. You might find you have better balance on one side than the other. I have terrible balance on this side. So I'm going to keep my drishti, my eyes, at a specific point. I'm not going to try very hard to not look at the video because I'm moving on the video. Inhale, we lift that leg up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Kick the foot out in front. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring it back to center. Inhale up. Exhale down. Kick it to the back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Release that foot. About hip bone width apart. Standing waterfall or dragon tail. Excuse me. Take a step into about the center of your mat, because it depends on the space that you have, the center of your mat. Place your hands to heart center. Slightly shift the weight into that right foot, and we're going to come into a warrior three. In a warrior three, your upper body all the way down to your leg is remaining in the same position, staying together until you make a T. You're looking directly down at your mat. Your toes are pointed towards the mat. The hips are square. Again, if you need to place your arm out on a wall for balance, feel free. Currently, hands are at heart center. If it is okay for your lower back, then you may extend your arms out in front. If it hurts your lower back at all, or if you have lower back issues, keep your hands at heart center. Inhale, rise up, seesawing that upper body and leg together. Return to standing. This time, shift the weight into the left foot. Moving into our warrior three on the other side. Again, you might find that Some sides have better balance than others. Hips are square. You're looking straight down at the ground. Toes are facing straight down at the ground. Inhale, rise up. Shift the weight into the right foot. On the inhale, on the exhale, we lower. Warrior three. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, shift the weight into the left foot. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, we lower. Breathing along the way as needed. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale one more time. Let's shift the weight into the right foot. Lower into our warrior three. Inhale back to standing. Shift that weight into the left foot. One more time, warrior three. Inhale back to standing. Sorry, I fell out of that last one. Inhale, arms up above you. Exhale, bring the arms down to the side, side out. The next quick little roll clockwise, then a roll counterclockwise. We have just a couple more poses here. Inhale, the arms up above your head. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your feet out about hip bone distance, maybe a little bit farther. Go a little bit farther than hip bone distance and come up on your toes. Bend the knees and slowly lower the butt. Malasana, yogi squat. If you can get to here and you can stay here, great. If you can lift your hands to heart center, even better. If you need to, stick a block, a book, a pillow, something underneath your bum to take a little bit of the pressure off. If you can, drop your heels to the floor. Pressing those hips open. Remember that your block has 3 different heights for whatever you might need. Maybe you need the high height today. I like to sit on the block during this because it's less work. It's nice. Let's drop the right hand to the mat in front of us and extend the left arm up for a twist. Take a good inhale. On the exhale, bring the left arm down. Switch it with the right. Inhale, let's twist to the right. Exhale, bring that hand down. Place the 2 hands on the mat. Heel toe those feet back together. Standing up. Forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands on the mat. Bend the knees down. Come onto your bum. my cohort here fell over. It's pretty funny. Let's keep our feet out in front, back nice and straight, arms out in front, slowly lower, down to the mat, engaging our core until we come all the way down, hands at our side. Walk the feet in a little bit so that you can almost touch them with your fingers. If your arms are extended down, you should be able to almost touch your heels with those fingers. You want them about hip bone width apart. Your back should be flat against the mat. We're going to take a good deep inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to lift our hips, pressing into our arms and our shoulders for a bridge. Holding here for a few breaths. Take one last inhale. And on the exhale, slowly lower 1 vertebrae at a time. Like you're trying to slowly lower that back, taking as much time as needed. Bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees to the side, keeping that back flat. This is a reverse of the back bend you just did. Supta Baddha Konasana. That also has a fun name. Inhale the knees back together. Exhale them to the chest. Give them a nice hug. Take a good inhale here. On the exhale, full body stretch side out. In traditional yoga, your Shavasana, your corpse pose, your feet are flailed to the side, your legs are loose, your arms are at your side. Some people might find this is not comfortable for their legs. If they need to, you can put a bolster underneath them. It just helps with that bend, helps that break there. If you want to do the same supported fish that we did earlier in class, remember that block or that pillow goes about halfway down the back and the shoulders rest over. You can keep the legs bent or to the side, whatever's comfortable for you in Shavasana. You want to lay here for about 2 minutes, clearing everything out of the mind, thanking the body for the work that it did on a Sunday morning, allowing the breath to return to its normal slow and steady pace. Either through the nose or through the mouth. Start to bring awareness to the space around you. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe rock the head from side to side. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the knees in and meet on our right side. In almost every yoga class, they bring you to your right side in Shavasana. Excuse me. It's to signify your rebirth. The right side has healing powers. It has positive energies. So we generally meet on the right side before we come up to seated. Take one more inhale here, and exhale, and push yourself up to seated. Anytime you come into seated, it should be what's comfortable for you. Making sure that we are sitting up nice and straight. We bring our hands to our heart center. If we could be good and turn our videos back on and our sound back on so we can see each other for our namaste.
Playing Alexa.
I don't know if Kelly, you have to change anything on the spotlight video there.
Come on. Here we go.
There we go. See a few familiar faces. As we bring our hands from our heart, where we have kind thoughts, kind feelings, lift our hands to our lips, where we have kind words, and our hands to our third eye for our kind thoughts. From the light that shines in me to the light that shines in you, we bow to one another and say, Namaste.
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 Thank you for the privilege of being your teacher on this fine Sunday morning. I don't know if any of you have ever done Yin before. It is an incredibly different style of yoga. It's certainly not my favorite, but it has its benefits and you feel good afterwards. Yang is definitely my strong suit. I like the flow of things. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask.
That was great, Stacey. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jess.
I lay on a yoga block at least once every day and highly recommend to anybody. Like everybody in my office knows I have a yoga block and they will come and borrow it because that feels so good when you're at a computer all the time.
Yeah.
That's today's Amazon purchase.
There you go.
I recommend the foam